Hi, and welcome to Unprompted, where we speak with the voices shaping the future of conversational AI. And today's guest is Kaushansky, who's been shaping that future for nearly 3 decades. Let me read out some of the things about Karen here. So, an absolute veteran, and has worked basically in everything from early speech recognition systems to multimodal, voice driven AI. Currently, and that is really exciting, she's leading UX for Gemini Live of Google DeepMind. So that's really exciting. She's designing open-ended, real-time conversations with one of the world's most powerful large language models. So what's something that you feel is absolutely true about conversational AI that very few people understand?
Conversational AI is so empowering and useful and is going to change our life. And very few people understand like this in that people see AI in so many different ways. They hear about it, and there's often a negative connotation with that of like, oh, is it going to take our jobs? Is it going to cause issues in the world? But when we talk about conversational AI, the way that I think about this is creating opportunity and access to information.
How has that understanding of that role changed over time?
So, right, I kind of started as a voice user interface designer because that's what we were designing, just of the voice part of a conversation. But today, a conversation is so much more. See how I used my hands there, right? It's gestures, it's emotion, right? We're starting to be able to recognize emotion, eye gaze, again, the gestures, visual expression, and that multimodal input.
Like you're currently leading UX at Gemini Live, Google DeepMind. Everybody knows about this. It's really exciting. So talk us through what it is, how it works.
Google DeepMind builds the Gemini models, right? These are the different LLM AI multimodal models that come in all different flavors, depending if you're advanced or you're paying for it, or just the basic model, the multimodal model, the smaller one. So there's Gemini, the model, and then there's Gemini, the consumer experience, right? Accessing those models through an interface. So you can chat or talk to Gemini on your desktop. And there's the mobile app, the Gemini app. Within the Gemini app, so this is available on iOS and for Android, you can have a chat with Gemini, with your LLM. Great for quick questions, or when you're wanting to type a question, can see a very detailed response with visuals, and it's amazing, and actually has access to some deep research and other features that are just so powerful. I work on, like, this is within the Gemini app. You can also go live with Gemini when you want to have a natural back and forth conversation with your AI, with Gemini, so that you don't have to keep typing, that you can have an actual, like we've been talking about, a conversation back and forth with the LLM. So this is, you want to brainstorm a topic, you want some companionship, you want to plan a 7-day trip to Italy, you want to go deep on a new topic, you want to learn about astrophysics. Um, it is truly this back and forth natural conversation with margin, with give and take, collaborating with Gemini over a certain topic.
And how do you design the system that's then voice first, that's camera aware, context, that's camera aware? You can share your screen. It's powered by this LLM. So it's non-deterministic. You basically can't really fully control what comes out of it. What's your design process? What does that system look like?
Today in Gemini Live, it is multimodal. You can turn on the camera so Gemini can see what you see. So the input is very much both audio and visual.
Okay, Delphine bought this pattern in French. I don't know which stitch should I use for this step. It's a new sewing machine.
Got it. It looks like you need to use a zigzag stitch. Stitches O4 and O5 would work. The pattern even shows a little picture of the type of stitch head. Does that help?
Yeah.
I started Gemini Live, and I turned on the camera, and Gemini could see what I see. So we could have a conversation over something we're both looking at. And the problem that I had, true problem, my daughter bought a sewing pattern in French, and I didn't understand. I didn't understand the actual step and which stitch to use on this new sewing machine that we have. So Gemini was able to, like, language independent in that, could translate the step and help me while I was talking English to then match it to the right stitch to use on the sewing machine. A basic example, but Gemini being able to help me in this situation because it could see what I see.
Something that, that a strong belief that you had about conversational AI that maybe you had to change recently?
I would say a year or 18 months ago, I was concerned on, are conversation designers and content writers gonna be one and the same? Is it going away, right? Are we merging? Are we just gonna be content designers? But as we talked about today, I mean, the past 18 months, there's no, like, they are further apart. We need content designers, for our experience, but it's a very different field, and the need for conversation design is as strong as ever and growing.